Well, hello. Let the journey begin. Today we're going to begin our discussion of positive psychology. I'm so excited that we get to take this journey together as a part of our time in this course. So I thought we might start out by looking at the question, what is positive psychology? And to begin by looking at a couple of definitions of positive psychology, and then we'll go from there. So our book defines positive psychology as the scientific and applied approach to uncovering people's strengths and promoting their positive functioning. That's a good definition. I wanted to share with you a couple of others. Probably my favorite definition is Christopher Peterson's definition of positive psychology. He says that positive psychology is the scientific study of what makes life most worth living. And then there's the definition of Martin Seligman, who's associated with the launching of positive psychology as a new discipline in psychology. And Seligman says that positive psychology is the study and application of that which is good in people. All of these are good definitions. And you can see that all of them focus on looking at what is right with us. And this is the essence of positive psychology. Positive psychology is a relatively new field, as you're probably aware, starting towards the end of the 20th century. But thousands of studies have now been conducted in this field over the past about 20 years or so. Very exciting. Our textbook in the first chapter starts with a quote from Robert Kennedy when he addressed students at the University of Kansas in 1968. And even back then, people like Kennedy were aware that we needed to give more attention to what makes life most worth living. He said this: "The gross national product does not allow for the health of our children, their education, or the joy of their play. It does not include the beauty of our poetry, or the strength of our marriages, the intelligence of our public debate, or the integrity of our public officials. It measures neither wit nor courage, neither our wisdom nor our teaching, neither our compassion nor our devotion to our country. It measures everything, in short, except that which makes life worthwhile." Now, that was, about 50 years ago? But those words ring as true today as they did at that time. In the 20th century, the main question that psychologists were interested in exploring, at least in the field of clinical psychology, was what is wrong with people. And this guided the thinking of most applied psychologists during that time. And it produced a tremendous amount of useful information about what we might call the dark side of our human nature. But that's not all there is to human nature. As we are all aware, we also have an upside to our human nature. That part of who we are that strives for living a life that is worth living, a life of meaning and purpose that allows us to experience joy and happiness. So positive psychology is interested in this other side to our human nature. And we will have the opportunity to learn a lot about what is known and what people are learning about every day who are studying positive psychology. Positive psychology came about in large part through the influence of Martin Seligman, a psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, clinical psychologist by training. He tells a story in his book, Authentic Happiness, about an experience he had one day with his child, who asked Seligman, "Daddy, why are you always so grumpy?" Well, this took Seligman back. And he got to thinking about it and realized that his life was going really well, professionally and personally, yet he was grumpy a lot of the times and wasn't as happy as he thought he could be. And that got it all started. So he and one of his colleagues wrote an influential paper around 2000 that launched positive psychology as a new field of study within psychology. Seligman says that positive psychology needs to be concerned with studying three areas, really. One is positive emotions like joy, happiness, gratitude. The second is positive institutions like churches, families. And the third is strengths of character, what we might call virtues, like love, justice, transcendence, temperance. And as we'll see, as we explore positive psychology, we'll be looking at research that touches on all three of those areas. Seligman also said that there are three different kinds of lives that are important to our human experience and that need to be studied by positive psychology. The first is what he calls the pleasant life. The pleasant life is a life that is characterized by more positive than negative emotion and by pleasant life experiences. The second kind of life is what he called an engaged life. When somebody is engaged in life, they're involved in activities and in relationships, often work and creative activities. And the third kind of life he characterized is a meaningful life. And a meaningful life is one in which we are dedicated to something beyond ourselves, often service to other people, and for those with a religious orientation, being connected with God. We'll have the opportunity to explore all three of those types of lives as well. And when you see the video by Dr. Seligman, he talks about this particular area a bit in this video as well. So this is helps us to at least get a start in understanding what positive psychology is all about. As a part of this discussion, I would also like to explore with you some thoughts about why studying the abnormal has captured so much attention within the field of psychology historically, and how studying what is right with us adds a lot to helping us understand our human nature. So when we think about focusing on studying what is wrong with us, here we are looking at the myriad of problems that we can experience as human beings. And if you've ever taken a course in psychopathology or abnormal psychology, you've been able to give a good bit of attention to what these problems are. But this pathology model is accurate in its descriptions of some people at some particular times in their lives. And it is able to help certain people with select problems. But a pathology model is incomplete in its portrayal of humankind. The negative part of humankind is only a part. It's not the whole picture. Positive psychology offers a look at the other side, that which is good and strong in humankind and in our environments, along with how to nurture and sustain these assets and resources. You will have the opportunity, as I indicated in the introductory video, to practice a number of positive psychology exercises that have been found to help enhance the quality of life of people who use them. And I can't wait to hear from you as you get that process started. So I'll look forward to talking with you again soon. Thank you.